Dark Link, one of the most fascinating villain and gameplay concepts in the Zelda series, as it is probably the most recognizable threat to everyone playing, our darkest side, which comes out from time to time and takes control over us. It is just that when a character is too good and pure-hearted, this darkness can under the right circumstances evolve into an entity of itself, which is capable of harming us when we least expect it. And that is the horror of Dark Link.
In The Legend of Zelda, we are taught that Link, as the spirit of the hero, is pure of heart, only one of a few individuals that can wield the complete Triforce without splitting it into three, and who can simultaneously pull the Master Sword. He possesses the perfect balance of power, wisdom, and most of all courage. He has immense strength for someone his stature, is capable of solving even the deadliest of riddles, and has the courage to face all kinds of demons and tyrants. But is he really pure of heart before the confrontation with darkness, specifically in Ocarina of Time? You see, there's a few things about Link and through him, the spirit of the hero. He's not much of a talker, causing him to often suppress dark thoughts which build up into layers and accumulate in strength.
Something we saw a clear example of in Breath of the Wild's Zelda's Diary. The Hylian champion and knight remains mute because of his duty until someone reaches to his heart. In Breath of the Wild's case, Zelda with food. No doubt, Link is a good person throughout the Zelda series. Some may say too good, as he canonically is a hero who doesn't say no to people in need and who constantly selects his inner angel over his inner demon. Hence why Dark Link doesn't appear in the Zelda timeline until Ocarina of Time, as in Skyward Sword we see on numerous occasions Link's hatred and determination flow through against Girahim and Demise. The hero of the sky is capable of venting his hate out canonically and unleashing the darkness within him to aid him in the most crucial of duels.
He unleashes his dark side to strike down evil, which threatens all that is good. This is indeed very fascinating, as the next canon Links and the embodiments of the spirit of the hero can turn into the size of the Minish/Picori and even split into four. Then why isn't Dark Link unleashed until the Hero of Time? Likely it is due to sorcery, which is able to manifest this dark energy into a physical entity, the demon doppelganger of Link, whose only goal is striking down the source that it's based on. So to take it from the beginning, ever since he was brought up in Kokiri Forest, the future Hero of Time has never thrown punches back towards Mido.
Being bullied for being different and not having a fairy companion. And this went on possibly for years and was only diminished by Saria, until he leaves Kokiri Forest to Hyrule Field and Castle. There alone you have plenty of dark energy which has been suppressed for years, brewing, but still not strong enough. So fittingly enough, before departing, he witnesses the first death of his life as the Great Deku Tree passes away after sending him on his mission. Keep this one in mind, it will get very important soon enough. Then after joining forces with Zelda, Ganondorf unleashes his coup and strikes Link with his dark sorcery when he dares to pull his Kokiri sword towards him as Ganondorf plays with him. Followed soon after by pulling the Master Sword and being sealed for 7 years, and the last you saw before heading to sleep was Ganondorf laughing in your face. Then a shock of being an adult but with a child's mind, finding Castletown in complete ruins and Ganondorf protected behind this unreachable monstrosity of a castle. Your home being infested by monsters and your childhood friend Saria missing, facing the phantom of the guy who ruined your life and having the King of Evil teasing you in the same chamber. Your childhood friend not returning with you to the forest and learning the truth that you were lied to by the Great Deku Tree from the Deku Tree Sprout, who in turn informs you that your life was a tragedy from the very beginning. One that continues by witnessing your Goron brother Darunia going to a certain death. Finally, being made aware that the Zora Sapphire you received from Ruta all those years ago actually engaged you with said princess before she swims to a certain death.
All these reveals, setbacks, and tragedies build up inner darkness, and is the perfect amalgamation when Link enters the massive chamber of illusion, reflection, and sorcery, which is either a Zora test of facing and cleansing yourself of your past in sort of purgatory, or the perfect trap set up by Ganondorf, one that is far more lethal than any of the monsters he's placed in the other temples. Because let's not forget, Link is watched and more specifically toyed with by Ganondorf throughout Ocarina of Time. The Forest Temple is a clear example of this, where Ganondorf even messages Link directly before banishing Phantom Ganon. It's just that Ganondorf's surveillance in the game isn't truly clear until Princess Zelda reveals herself and hands over the light arrows in the Temple of Time.
Thus, having Link face himself in the middle of the adult section of the game, in the middle of the Middle Temple, could be oh so deliberate by Ganondorf, and through him the Zelda team, as another of his games that he observes. Face your past, right before you're required to return back to the past for the first time before going through the Shadow Temple. In this illusionary realm, Link's reflection remains visible until the Hero of Time passes the Black Withering Tree, upon which his reflection disappears. Then as soon as Link turns around and returns back to the tree, Dark Link emerges. But wait a minute, a Withering Tree you say? So much like the Great Deku Tree, which fed him the first and greatest lie of his life, and which Ganondorf in effect killed? His passing was also Link's first encounter with death, as the Kokiri surrounding him are spirits of the forest that never age. Still, Dark Link does not attack at first. Well, unless you wait too long before pulling your blade against him. And when you do, he counters your moves, but just wait until he darkens and his eyes turn red.
Dark Link, and possibly through it, Ganondorf, wants you to unleash your true rage to defeat him, as he requires the same amount of hits as the number of hearts you have when you enter one of the best one-on-one duels in the Zelda series. The premise of this fight is simple. One of you is not leaving this chamber in the form you are fighting. Link vs Dark Link is literally a reflection of everything up to this point in Ocarina of Time.
The reflection might also tie to the environment surrounding us, Link's childhood, which was a lie, and ended with the passing of the first entity which lied to Link, the Great Deku Tree. The water you stand on, which is your connection to Ruto, and the engagement you still have to her, and finally fire, as the Gorons and their weapons are the obvious solution to this fight. But nothing is more important than one gameplay detail. Dark Link having the same amount of heart containers as Link. Fighting your own reflection or shadow has an obvious outcome. It will counter your every move just like in real life. And facing our inner demons is painful, the same way this fight hurts when you stick to the Master Sword and your Hylian shield. Even Navi's advice against Dark Link is as honest as it gets. Conquer yourself. Though this illusion gradually collapses as we strike him down again and again back into where he is supposed to be, as a shadow and reflection. But as we reach the final phase of the fight, Dark Link loses his cool and goes straight after Link instead of mimicking his moves. But even to the greatest of darkness there is a solution, as Link ultimately overcomes his inner demon.
He literally moves on, clear of his past demons and tragedies, and ready to continue his still long path to Ganondorf for new tragedies. Yeah, at least he's past the halfway point of the adult sections of his quest in Hyrule. After this fight, he's no longer a boy, but a man. Not only physically, but also mentally. He protected Sheik from the released shadow spirit Bongo Bongo in Kakariko Village, and does his best to also protect Nabooru in the Spirit Temple. In other words, Dark Link is most likely only a threat to Link himself. And throughout the Zelda timeline, this has remained consistent nearly every time dark forces have summoned the darkness within.
Except in Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, when it is the King of Hyrule who unleashes Link's shadow as a final test before granting him the Triforce of Courage to awaken the sleeping Princess Zelda of the past. But other than that one, other Dark Links are just Shadow Links, which are magical entities, and in nearly all instances clones of Link, like in Spirit Tracks, Oracle of Ages as support of Aron, and the Game Boy port of A Link to the Past with 4 swords. Common to all of these and the Shadow Links found in A Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes, 4 Swords Adventures, and Link's Awakening Switch with the Amiibo is that they all don't come from Link directly, unlike what we for instance saw in the on-canon Hyrule Warriors reveal of Dark Link by Sia. In other words, the 2 instances that we would consider as Dark Link are tied directly to a reflective part of him disappearing, either shadow or water reflection, and a doppelganger of Link manifesting in front of him, ready to duel to the death. The others are just enemies, while Dark Link, at least in Ocarina of Time, could be something far more sinister.
Meaning that other heroes may have had a Dark Link following them in their shadow or reflection, but which was never triggered by Ganondorf. Even in the Child timeline, where the Hero of Time, as far as we know, never entered the Water Temple. Dark Links which could have manifested but didn't, as they managed to face their inner demons as we usually do in real life. That or Dark Link was simply never triggered by sorcery to begin with.
Until possibly the near future, with the return of Ganondorf to his castle, and with it his dark sorcery. Magic that might force Link, the hero of the wild, to fight his shadow, just like the Hero of Time and the Hero of Hyrule before him. Hence Dark Link might, and likely will, return in future installments. That is what makes Dark Link a true horror, and who knows, if put in the same situation, we would be the one who would keep moving on. If you haven't already, press that like and subscribe buttons, and also press that notification bell to both of our channels Commonwealth Realm and Monster Maze to not miss any of our upcoming videos. But we have more for you during this Halloween collab, so head over to Monster Maze channel for a deep dive into the Pogos and their portable souls. Finally, a big thanks goes to all patreon.com/commonrealm patrons, and in particular to royal producer Charles Shash. You rock, and please enjoy one or both of these two awesome videos, and specifically Monster Maze part of this collab.